the Reef Nerd YouTube channel.
Alright, so in today's video, I've got a special guest. We're going to be interviewing my wife, Jasmine. So Jasmine's some of the talent that's behind the scenes on the Reef Nerd channel. She does all my art and graphics and a lot of the work behind the scenes on the channel. And I thought, what better a time than to have her on camera, finally, and we can do a bit of an interview. So let's start off by getting to know Jasmine a little bit. Tell us about some of your hobbies.
Okay, well, YouTube is definitely not one of them. I don't like being on camera. I'm probably going to be awkward through this. But my hobbies include circus arts. So I do aerial arts. That's my fitness hobby. I'm an artist, so I like to draw, and I do a lot of mixed media artwork and just a lot of designing, a lot of artwork, pretty much always designing, and doing fitness stuff.
So you didn't list out reef fish tanks as one of those hobbies?
No, so fish tanks is definitely Marcus's hobby. I prefer cats, so that's why I convinced Marcus to get Nemo, which took me 10 years to convince Marcus to get Nemo, so I love cats. But no, I can't say that reefing has ever come to mind as a hobby that I would want to start.
So how did this all happen from your perspective? And by this, I mean this.
By allowing you to get this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must have hypnotized me with that one. I mean, Marcus has always been into reefs and fish. I mean, I remember when I first met Marcus, which was 10 years ago now, and he told me he was a scuba diver. So I knew that he loved like water sports. He always loved water sports. So, scuba diving, water skiing. He would tell me about all the fish that he was seeing underneath, and so he had fish, just goldfish at the time, which I think mostly your mum looked after.
Well, it was a big outdoor pond at my parents' house.
Yeah, which his mum looked after. But they were, you know, he loved those fish. They were pretty cool. But then over the years of dating, he would talk more about having a marine fish tank, and he would suck me into watching the YouTube videos. We would watch the videos about setting up a marine tank, and I would learn a lot about fish food. Fish food and pumps, so many things. And a few years went by and you didn't really do anything, and then you went to London, and then when you came back from London, we pretty much said, yeah, like we're in our own home now, so we can get the marine tank, and then you started looking at it. So it was quite a process though, like over the years of you getting a tank, and like I always knew it was going to happen. To me, it doesn't really faze me. I quite like it. I got used to it. So
what do you think about the fish tank today as compared to when we first started and we first set it up?
I mean, it's come a long way, definitely, and I've learned a lot about the whole like hobby and the ecosystem. Yeah, it's just grown a lot, and like I'm surprised how much like those corals are worth, some of them, and how much you can you know, sell them for, and the whole community, like how close the community is. So no, it's been good. It's just growing, it's evolving. Yeah.
So do you think it's an expensive hobby?
I mean, I know it's an expensive hobby. I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, it can be. Not to say that it has to be an expensive hobby, but I mean, like, I'm into circus arts, and that's expensive. I mean, every lesson of circus arts is like $40 to $50. So for Marcus to buy corals that are $40, $50 or more doesn't really faze me, because I know how much I've spent on my own hobbies. Like, art supplies are not cheap either. Like, each tube of paint is like, you know, like $20. So to me, it doesn't really faze me. I know that some of those in there are pretty expensive. I think when they get over, like, you know, maybe if they get over like $300, I start going a bit like, really? Like, you need to buy, like, what if you kill it? That's the thing. Like, what if you kill the really expensive one?
So how expensive do you think is the most expensive coral in my tank?
Well, I don't think you've spent over $300 on a coral. I don't know, $100?
$100? Okay, yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. Alright, yeah. How much time do you think I spend on the tank? To compare from when we first got it to today, how much time do you think I spend on it?
Well, in the beginning, you didn't have everything automated, so that was like a different amount of time, and probably messier too, which was annoying. It's like trying to bloody tracing buckets around the house and stuff.
So you think me automating, say, water changes and automating like the RODI top off and what else have I automated from your perspective? Like that kind of stuff. Does that like help from like your acceptance of the hobby or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, you spend a lot of time on it, you do, but you can tell, like, it looks great, and everything Marcus does is, he's good at everything he does, because, you know, he's a perfectionist, he puts the detail and the time in, so I think automating all the stuff and all the gadgets and whatever he's added to it has definitely helped reduce the time, but then making all the gadgets and automating all the things takes time, so probably equals out.
So since we've had the tank, do you ever get asked to do much on the tank? Like maintenance wise or whatever?
Well, you've left it with me a couple times to babysit when you've had to like travel for business and stuff like that. So only then. And
how did you find that? What did I have you do?
So, well, what did you do? So I don't know, I had to put dropper bottles and clean what I call the fish poop soup, which is the skimmer.
Yep.
Which is gross. And then I had to like scrape the broccoli off the net thing.
The algae scrubber, cleaning the algae
scrubber, which Marcus thinks is continually funny when he tells me to add it to my green smoothie, and it's really not. And then what else? Oh, I had to...
Homegrown, fully organic, perfectly healthy granary.
No. It stinks. It really stinks.
Oh, the fish poop soup stinks. The
fish
algae
poop
doesn't stink.
Soup, oh, stinks. Yeah, so what I would do though is make a checklist, which I actually wanted to type out for the community because it was the greatest checklist of like what to do, and then I would have like columns for like if I've done it every day, I would tick it because there was like that many steps at one point that I had to do, and like one of them was even like blowing off the sand from like the big plated ones. Because Marcus was convinced that if the sand would sit there, like the coral would die because it wouldn't get light. So then I would be like panicking because I thought that it was gonna like just, I don't know, drop off the rock and die if I didn't like blow the sand off.
Well, you did a great job. She's talking about a scrolling Monty cap that for some reason just kept collecting sand in it, and my wave makers at the time wouldn't blow the sand off it. So I had her use Julian's thing to blow the sand off it while I was away for about a 3-week period. But you did a good job. That big red scrolling Monty looks fantastic today.
Actually, you've automated a lot, like since the last time.
Back then, we didn't have anywhere near YouTube. Back then, the YouTube channel didn't exist. We didn't have anywhere near as much automation on the tank, and I had less knowledge and was much more micromanagerial around the tank at the time. But these days, the tank's a lot more autopilot and a lot more mature. Is there anything about the tanks that you don't like, other than fish poop soup?
Oh, damn, I was going to use fish poop soup. Oh, when the shrimp sheds like his skin, like that's disgusting.
The coral banded shrimp.
Yeah, that's gross.
That happens about once a month. Yeah.
But then the thing is, what you do with it. So you just leave it in the sink. Like he just, like all this stuff, this fish poop, this algae, the shrimp skin, like it goes in our kitchen sink.
We can edit this out.
No. This has to be heard back for the Reef wives. That like put your foot down. And like the kitchen should not be used as a freaking coral lab. Like, anyway.
How's that working out?
Yeah, well, it's you put a ring on it, and I'm sucked in, and I love you too much. So yeah, using the kitchen annoys me for coral stuff.
All right, there you go. Using the kitchen, not the most popular option for fish tank maintenance.
Yeah.
Is there any advice you'd like to give to other partners of reefers out there? Now, the majority of them will be wives, and we just know that through the YouTube stats that
Wives, husbands, whatever.
my viewership is about 99.8% male. So to the 0.2% of you females watching, tell your friends. We need to equalize the hobby a little bit more and get them involved. But maybe one of the ways to get them involved, get more women into the hobby, would be to see more women in the hobby, speaking about the hobby. And I'm still working on you to get you into the hobby. But what advice would you give to other women wanting to get into the hobby, or potentially the wives or partners of reefers out there who themselves are a little unsure?
Just go with it. I mean, it makes them happy. It does look cool. Like whenever I actually do take photos of it and send it to my work colleagues, they're like, wow, that's amazing. Like, you talk about a fish tank, but I never thought it was like that kind of fish tank. And yeah, it is pretty cool. It's a slightly weird hobby, but like it's cool. I would just say go with it. Everyone's got their own hobbies that they're gonna do. So if you say yes to your partner, then you can get something in return later, like a cat or whatever else for your hobby. Maybe you'll need help with something.
But if I was to get rid of the tank tomorrow, I don't think you'd be very happy about that, would you? You'd come to love it.
Yeah, I would be upset. Like Sky, our blue tank. So the whole reason, well, not the whole reason, but it's part of the reason why Marcus is getting a bigger tank, which he announced a couple of videos ago, is because I can't let him give away that fish. Like that damn fish. I've fallen in love with that fish, Sky. And I actually was feeling sad when he was going to get rid of him because we couldn't fit him in the tank anymore. So, yeah, I would be sad if you got rid of it. And also you would just be like more annoying because you wouldn't have like a thing to put all your energy into. So, yeah, can't get rid of that.
So there you go. Get tanks, put them in a small tank. When they outgrow the tank, you've then got an excuse to get a bigger tank, and your wife will be on board with it because they've become attached to the fish. As you know, we're upgrading this tank, and the new one's going to be about twice the size. How do you feel about the tank upgrade?
Yeah, the new tank is very exciting. As I said, we get to keep our fishies, so I'm very happy about that. And we're creating it to look in line with the decor, which is also very important for me. And we're designing, like a thing to cover the light, because like I always think the light's a bit ugly. So we're designing a lovely like casing to go over it.
Hat, a hood.
To match in the matching wood. So it's all very exciting, yeah. Love it. And we are to get more corals and
we'll be able to get more fish which you can name.
Yep, more fish that we can name, and I'm very excited that we can like create more like rockscape. It's like I've started thinking about rockscapes, like this is where my brain is now going.
Really?
So yeah, no, I actually have been thinking about the design of the rockscape.
Cool.
And like how it could be like a bigger area for the fish to like swim under. And like Sky, the blue tang, he like has a cubby hole which he likes to find, and he's like too big for all of his cubby holes, which makes me really sad. So I'm imagining like building him a little custom cubby house out of the rocks.
Cool.
Yeah.
So most of my viewers probably don't know, but Jasmine did the thumbnails, the logo for Reef Nerd. She did that awesome animation, which debuted on this video for the first time, which will be the new intro clip for the channel moving forward. So you've had a lot of involvement with the channel behind the scenes since we started the YouTube thing. Do you like that aspect of your involvement in the YouTube channel and the hobby, and where do you see that going?
Yeah, so I definitely prefer to be behind the camera. I don't like being on camera. I do enjoy doing all the design, and that's what I love doing. So, but we have a few ideas, don't we, babe? Like of merchandise that we want to do, and we want to like ramp up kind of the Reef Nerd community that we have here. So We're kind of thinking of doing some pretty cool merchandise soon. But the only thing is we want to know what you guys actually would want. So I know that Marcus has talked about like stickers being a really big thing, but like what else would reefers want to see? Like, is it t-shirts? Is it like other fashion items? Is it like, I don't know, different homeware items? I mean, we're going to create some cool coral inspired artwork and prints and all those kind of inspired things. So like, what would you want to see like a coral reef print on? We would love to hear your ideas. My background is like product design as well, so we've got no problem creating stuff. So yeah, we'd just love to hear your ideas of what you kind of think is missing in this like reefing community.
All right, well, thanks Jazz for appearing on camera finally after all this time, and I'm sure everyone really appreciates hearing your thoughts, and you know, it's a bit of a change of pace compared to always listening to me blab on about something boring. I hope you found this video entertaining.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, please.
My name is Marcus.
And my name is Jasmine.
And you've been watching the Reef Nerd YouTube channel. Bye for now.